welcome to episode 14 of The Atman Show. And today's guest is Karn. I'm really thankful that he agreed to come the second time. And today's topic is Matrix movie, the movie Matrix that came in 1999. And we are going to discuss how the movie is related to Vedanta and Vipassana. So, can you go ahead and little bit talk about the intro of that episode?
Sure, yeah. So I think we briefly touched about Matrix in our previous one, and I think it's a very fascinating and interesting topic. First of all, I am sure a lot of people have already seen Matrix. When it came, it was a mind-bending experience to see the whole plot and going through it. I remember my first experience, and I would be, I think, around 20 years when that really came. The whole concept when it hit me, the first this thing is this is the most accurate description of Maya that I've ever seen. Incidentally, I think when it got released in dubbed in Hindi, I think it was called Maya Jal or something like that.
Oh, I didn't know about
Yeah, so
that.
but that entire thing kind of stuck with me and with a lot of many people. Like I've always seen, in fact, YouTube also has a whole bunch of people analyzing it from Advait Vedanta standpoint. So I mean, I when you threw this idea of discussing it, I was like, okay, yeah, this is one topic which we can really have fun with, and there's so many aspects of Vedanta which are very difficult to conceptualize. So the kudos to the directors to be able to kind of create a movie out of it. I think it's a big deal.
Okay. All right. So this is how the movie begins. Matrix, where is a movie where the artificial intelligence has taken over the world. They keep the human beings trapped in a pod. An artificial intelligence created Matrix and plugged the human brain into them. This makes the human being believe that they are all living their lives. So basically, like you are going to parties, you are going for, you're doing your job, paying your bills, but actually you are the part of Matrix. So do you have, like, how can you relate to Vedanta basically? Like, who are the human slaves to? Who is controlling us? How can you relate to Vedanta?
So several points there. So first of all, I think the matrix or the Maya or the world that we live in. The first concept in Advaita Vedanta specifically is that all of this is mithya, and which is untrue. It's not the truth. And it's very difficult for us to kind of say, okay, I'm living a life, I'm enjoying it, having pleasure and pain and all of this thing, and then you say that this is not true. But when in the movie, when you see that actually it is all related to perception. Perception is through our senses, and if you are able to manipulate those senses, and in fact, as the world is getting into metaverse and VR and all of those things, we are kind of tapping into and getting slowly inching into creating a matrix of our own while we are still alive. I think. Though this movie is, I think, 21 and plus 100 years, but the idea there is keeping that world and recreating it is it's essentially a trap. And in the movie, it is used for human brains to not kind of pop out and be used as batteries technically to keep powering the AI. But for us, and from a concept of Vedanta standpoint, we are trapped actually by our own karmas or the vasanas, the tendencies that we have, and the way we kind of succumb to those tendencies. So Maya is a beautiful creation. Every time you succumb to it, it kind of creates a karma which becomes a trap, and then you are in that loop. And that's what is called the samsara in both Buddhist and Vedantic philosophy, that you are not able to break out of it. And that's where I think Matrix and this thing kind of correlate with each other.
Thank you so much. That's an amazing explanation. So, our next question is like, Morpheus says to Neo, have you ever have a dream that you feel it is so real? So, what is real? Like, the life that we are living is it real or is it a dream? Or which one is real? So, he hands over a pill, right? Red pill or blue pill. So, can you tell me what is real and what is unreal?
So, again, through the Vedantic lens, if I have to tell,
Yes.
what is real, unreal. So, in Vedanta, it is described as the waker, which is your day to day, then the dreamer, and then the deep sleeper. These are the three stages of this thing. However, it says that all these three are not the true consciousness. So, and in fact, in some portions of it, the waker itself is also considered as dream. However, a persistent dream. Imagine an experiment. If I were let you kind of go back to sleep every night, and you can continue the dreams that you were seeing, then you're living two lives, technically speaking. Even though you're not moving your physical thing, but that persistence is allowed in this world, where we can continue have those relationship. It continues. If you have eaten something, the impact or consequences of it can be seen for a longer period of time. In the dream state, you are living that in a fast forward mode. And again, I mean, I think that's a topic for another day, but the Inception movie kind of beautifully described that in dream the time is much faster. So that essence is kind of captured there. But if you connect with dreams, the deep sleeper, and all of those things, you're not really getting into when you truly wake up. You can see that this entire thing itself was a trap, and that's where the Maya comes in. That's where the and all of it honestly starts with identification, and that's what most of the I would say contemporary gurus and Ramana Maharshi and so on, his identification of self was the core of his teaching. So he always said, "Who am I? Am I the one who was dreaming? Was that true? Or the one who is right now, is that true? Or am I something else? So what can I identify with?" And then it goes layer into layer into layer, and then eventually you come to a point where you're like, okay, my originality is the consciousness who kind of knows that at this point of time I'm dream, at this point of time I'm awake, and at this point of time I'm a deep sleeper, or I had a great sleep. So someone knows that I had a great sleep. Who's that? That person is the real essence of the whole thing. I don't know how much of it got answered there, but I think Morpheus questions there is the persistent dream part of it, and that's what they used beautifully there.
So basically, he's telling that if you use the red pill, you'll be able to know that actually you are being trapped in the pod, and that's the real world. So you see the real world, not the world where you eat, sleep, enjoy life, go to parties, pay bills, and that's your blue pill basically, where you are going. That's a Maya world that you're
That's the
living in.
Maya part. That's the Maya. And the red pill and blue pill is essentially also actually in Vedanta it has been mentioned, especially in Mandukya Upanishad. It says that there are two paths at any point of time. One is the path which will look attractive and all of those things, but have consequences which may not be as attractive, and a path which will look difficult, but essentially the consequences of it is better. So that's the red pill and the blue pill. So blue pill will always give you instant joy, instant satisfaction, but the bigger the moment you take red pill, you are actually delaying your gratification for a better outcome later.
Okay. All right. So, why do you think that Matrix is an enemy?
Matrix is Maya is whether Maya is enemy or not an enemy. I think Maya is essentially, I wouldn't say it is enemy, but it is a beautiful cage, and it's so beautiful that it again. I mean, I think we need to take a few steps back as to when we are having such a great time. How can we say that Maya is a cage? I mean, I'm having fun. When these points are kind of becomes more apparent and more clear when you're going through a phase of suffering. that's when it strikes. When you're going through a joyous phase, you're having, everything, your bills are paid and all of those things. At that point of time, you wouldn't say that, oh, this is a trap, because you're in a phase where you're enjoying it. However, all of us, and again, I'll get the Buddhist concept here, is that all of us will eventually go through the suffering of illness, or whatever, the
But
disappointment, heartbreaks, and all of those things, which is mental kind of suffering, birth, death,
aging,
and
sickness.
aging.
Hmm.
So that those things are going to happen, and when those things happen, questions arise that, oh, I wasn't having such a great time, then why am I suffering? Why am I trapped? What is happening? What is really happening here? And that's when these questions can be answered, because to a normal, if I go to a college going kid, and they are having a great time, and if you say that, oh, this is a trap, they'll be like, what are you talking about,
Yeah.
man? I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to conceptualize at different stages. Or someone who's been eventually, non-stop success is there. That thing is, for them, if I say that, oh, this is a trap, like, it's not a trap. I'm successful, I'm putting my effort, I'm getting my results, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But things change, and when things change, you start to question, and that's when the question is that then you realize that what was the whole purpose of working so hard, or earning so much money, and going through all this, the life and everything. So at that point of time, the concept of Maya becomes more clearer, that actually all of that thing was done. There is another layer to it, by the way, but this is purely from, I would, and I interlace Vedantic and Buddhist philosophy, because it's very, very, tightly intertwined. I mean, the terminologies will change here and there, but essentially describing the similar worldview, in very, very subtle differences. So that's the whole essence that we come back to, is if we are gonna be talking about Maya as a enemy, it is essentially, I wouldn't call it as it's just a beautiful jail. It's and the moment you determine that, okay, the awareness first determines that, oh, it is a trap, and then you are able to break it piece by piece. You can't break it like in one shot.
Okay. So, Neo fights the agents and dodges the bullet effortlessly. He's close to becoming liberated. He has realized that Matrix is just a program by which can be broken anytime. So, um, yeah. So he's not. So I think, like, I have one more question. Like, I've heard that the only person in this whole universe who has broken the matrix is Gautam Buddha. Is that true? I mean, that's the second part of the question. But yeah, let's go first, talk about Neo. He's able to dodge the bullets, so he's liberated. Do you think so? As per the movie and Vedanta?
So he definitely, I mean, in the movie, he definitely became liberated from the mental limits, that has been imposed, and which is what I was trying to come to in the previous question also, that there are two layers to it, or to the Maya itself. Like, one is the whole conceptualization that we are saying that everything that we are seeing is Maya. But the second layer of Maya, which is more, I would say, that we are really practically living at this point of time, is the influences that we have through, say, the movies, the political structures, the society, and all of those things have kind of influenced us in a way that we think that this is what is important. And society has determined these things, if you achieve, then you are successful. If you don't have these things, that means you are not. And
So,
that itself is a second, I mean, it's a more prominent layer which we can relate to as a Maya of the current place. Sorry, you are right.
So I think this is what I think,
Hmm.
that you say, right? The society, political, setup, or whatever, TV, media, social media. they have set up a standard. Okay, these are the things that you achieve and you are successful. So I feel this whatever, like political agents or social media, whatever, these are the agents, and they have inserted bugs into the human beings as ego, anger, and jealousy, and whatever, and or the standard of the society. And do you think those are the agents and we are the human beings, and those are the bugs that is coming to our system, or the way we think? Do you think so?
So, interesting way to put it, actually. These are, I would say, definitely elements which kind of incite a bug inside us. So there is the whole marketing structure that we have. I mean, uh, of selling and buying things which we probably do not need,
Yeah.
is enticing you with, like, oh, this is so important, you have to take. So for instance, for foreign locale, and going and living a particular kind of hotel, it is sold so much that, oh, it's beautiful, it's like this, it's like this, you have to see it. If you have not seen it, you have not done anything. That kind of is a bug which is bringing out something called the innate vasanas, which is, different people have their own tendencies. So someone will get attracted, or if someone has a bit of in them in it, that, oh, traveling is so important to me, they will definitely catch that bug. Versus someone who will be like, okay, no, I as simple as a chocolate, right? I have to eat that chocolate. So that innateness, the moment I see a large size, zoomed in photograph of a chocolate, it kind of entices me. Oh, I need to have that.
Yeah, yeah.
So those are the I would say, tools which the marketing and everyone else is kind of influencing us, and that itself is the Maya. If we break at that level,
Yeah.
that itself is a lot of success, to be honest.
Yeah. See, I'll tell you an example. Like, they will advertise about the food. The advertisement of the food looks so delicious.
Yeah,
So that advertisement is an agent, and we fall for it.
fall for it.
And then we eat so much food, and then we become fat. And then there is an advertisement for school sculpting. Okay, and then, hey, you become thin, and then this is how you should look. And so there's another Maya. So we're always in a trap.
In a trap.
Eat the food, and
That-
then go, and then
that's-
become slim. Eat the food and slim.
You're able to see the Maya, right?
Yeah.
So that's the loop.
Yeah.
Because on one side you're being enticed to eat and eat a lot more than what you can actually need, first of all, and
Yeah.
digest. And then on the second side you have also the industry which keeps telling you have to be slim and you have to be fit, you have to look this way.
Yeah.
Only then are you sufficient.
Yeah.
So both of them are feeding into each other.
Yeah.
Because on one side it's success for them, because people do tend to get bloated, and the moment they are bloated, these people say that, oh, you can't be bloated, you have to be, look like this.
Yeah.
So exactly.
So you have to be Neo, you have to break the matrix, don't eat much food, and don't get too much fat. And be very moderate, and in your moderate in your eating, in your workout, and be a normal life, and you should break the matrix. Is it
So
something like that?
breaking the matrix would be, in that sense, at multiple levels. First of all, is the identification that the thing which is looking so delicious not necessarily is as delicious as you think it is.
Yeah.
Because your mind is playing and making it so, like, mind limits you. Mind also enhances certain things to be extremely, oh, this is gonna be the best thing. May not be the best thing. It probably is, but you do not know. So don't fall for that trap. Evaluate, or you take a new like stance, the Zen look, saying that, okay, let the bullet come, I will dodge it when when it is when it is near me,
Yeah.
not before it is shot. So
Yeah.
so that's the I would say the Zenness which will come, where you can wait, say that, okay, yeah, I'm out. And the second part of it is, when you're indulging, you also can put limits to it.
Yeah, moderation.
Moderation,
Do everything
which
in
is
moderation.
like, okay, I love whatever food that you like, but I will have only this much of it, because I'm satisfying the tongue, but my body cannot accept it.
Mm.
So you play the reverse Maya game, which is like, okay, I will enjoy the Maya to only to certain extent without getting trapped into it.
Yeah. So see, in the movie, like when Morpheus is taking Neo around the Maya and trying to explain him, so a girl in a red dress comes and he looks at him. Neo looks at her. So he says that, hey, don't get distracted.
Don't get distracted.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you think everybody is getting distracted all the time?
So the nature of Maya is distraction. So the not a constant distraction from, in the most rudimentary way, your attention and your energies. So if you are able to focus them, keep them with you, and you know that, okay, I will spend this amount of energy for this particular thing, and not, and you are able to kind of moderate that particular thing, you are creating, a control system which is not succumbed by Maya. And Maya will constantly bombard either food, or your attention towards certain, or watching even a movie, for instance. They would entice you with all sorts of things, saying that, no, this is important for you to watch, important for you to watch. But it's in reality, it's a 3 hours of time that you are just giving away to watching something someone else has created. So
Yeah.
that's the awareness. You can watch. I mean, there's no this thing. Of course, we are talking about Matrix, which
Yeah.
itself was is a movie. But the point is, you become more aware of where selectively you're kind of knowing that, okay, I will indulge here and I will kind of restrain myself,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and not because of your vasanas, and not because of the Maya's traps. That's the only thing which I think we can exercise on a day-to-day basis. Now, the extreme level of awareness and the nirvana like state that we talk about, and where you said Gautama Buddha who achieved that, I would say, to your question at that point of time, is he the only one?
Yeah, exactly. Is he the only one who broke the matrix? Is he the only Neo?
Can dispute it, but of course he is the most known
Mhm.
Neo that we know of, right? Because every a part of it, and different times, we've always had people who have realized this whole truth. They have kind of spoke about it in different ways, and they lived their lives. Some of them, and the greatest part of it, a lot of self-realized people I know, they live in seclusion, so you would never know they exist.
See, yeah.
So that's the fun part of it. So yeah, Gautam Buddha made it not only a part of realizing himself. His mission was to kind of make other people also realize the truth. So
And when I do podcast, I have some conflicting views. Like, see, Gautam Buddha left the palace and left his whole wife and kids and everything in search of the question regarding birth, aging, sickness, and death, and he can give enlightenment to other people in the universe. But my question is, when we read Gita, they say you have to do your karma yoga. You have a karma yoga towards your family, and you have a karma yoga towards your nation, right? So what do you think? Like, don't you think so? He did not do his karma yoga, and to be a Neo, you don't have to do your karma yoga.
that's such a interesting, deep discussion, a point. So I'll try best of my ability to answer this. There's no right answer to this, right?
Okay, okay,
So
yeah.
first of all, uh, did he, if for different things that you're exploring, for instance, if you were to become a doctor, for instance, there is certain amount of time that you have to spend. Undivided attention has to go, which essentially means that you will compromise on certain things. And when you are doing that study, you all of these things becomes distracted, so you do not want to kind of get engaged in that. Now, the whole aspect of Buddha leaving, definitely on the face of it, you leave a family and go away, you are considered like what kind of father he was, or what kind of husband he was. He has been criticized through generations on this point. But if you see, the topic that he was trying to get into was much broader, much more suffering, much more deeper, and it required that level of intense. Imagine you doing meditation and coming back and having a, daily, I would say, domestic discussions like, oh, khana mein namak kam hai, and all of those things. So at that point of time, you are like completely distracted from, because it requires persistent depth. And I mean, people say that, I mean, he went on months together and did some extreme penance. You need that kind of time. Of course, he have been done that even before getting married? But that's a different age time where people would even get married much earlier than you realize that, oh, I need to do this in my life. So that's my thought process. Now, did he fulfill his karma is another question that you brought
Maybe
up.
he will come in the next lifetime to fulfill his unfulfilled karma.
Or the answer could be also that he eventually uses, if you read through it, he taught this knowledge to his wife and his son.
Oh, it happened?
Yes.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yes. So eventually, there is a whole episode of wife and they talking to each other after he has realized. He goes back and he says that, and there was a certain amount of anguish, but again, the wife was an enlightened being also, because she could deal with it. She also did the whole process. She also got liberated. So not only he did karma for this life, he basically got them to the nirvana level of karma. So which I think is more than anyone else does for their family.
Okay. All right. So my last question: does the liberated person has magical power? You no longer experience the illusion projected by the matrix.
So do this again is so I typically avoid getting into topics which are too magical, because then it becomes like a baba coming in and saying that, boss, you have to do
Yeah.
these things. But again, going back to the two layers which I said of Maya. The first layer of Maya is what the whole society is kind of putting you through. Can Does that person become magical in that sense? The person who can understand what influences is happening, or how essentially to kind of break into different uh, patterns of behavior, that person is the one who is able to do the most in the society anyways. So in some sense, they may not be calling it like a Vedanta knowledge or a knowledge coming from Buddha,
Upanishad.
but the point is they are practicing it in real life. They are able to see those patterns. They are able to see that these are the influences, and I have to kind of move away from it. And that's, I think, is the magic that the person brings in on a day-to-day basis. And that, I would say, even for instance, the iPhone is magical in that sense, right? I mean, when we imagine a time before that where we didn't have all of those things, but it became magical because someone could understand that these are the things which even we are not able to verbalize, that okay, we need it. It should be easier, it should be more convenient, and someone created something out of it. So that's one way of seeing it. Now the other ways is definitely when you have reached a stage where and again, I would say I would myself have to go through that journey before I can confidently say that these are the. But when you get to a stage of peace and be able to see things, you can definitely have certain level of patterns which other people can't see, even including that this is gonna happen. Why? Because
Because you're self-aware.
you're so aware of not only self but also the surrounding, that you know for sure that this is going to happen in my life. How? You don't know. You don't know the mechanisms of it, but you know that this is gonna happen. and that people are able to tap in, more frequently, and so on. So
So one thing, like, in the movie, like, when Neo is liberated, he goes inside the agent and destroys the agent.
yeah,
So that means, like, he's no more controlled by outside force and distraction.
yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
that's a great point there. In fact, that's where I wanted to briefly bring in the whole the concept of vipassana. So vipassana, in very nutshell, I think it's basically requires us to focus on the vibrations that we have, like how you're sensing, what is the feel, what is happening, and because everything that is going on, vipassana by definition means seeing things as is. And when you are trying to see things as is, it essentially means it should be, you should be clear of any mixture of no prejudice, no influences, no this thing. Seeing that, okay, this is what is facts. So the fact of your own body system is that what you call as pain is actually a certain level of vibration. What you call awareness, or life itself, is certain vibrations. So when you are even focusing yourself and closing your eyes and meditating, you are basically meditating on the vibrations of every part of your body. Now, when I saw the whole Matrix scene where he gets into it, and when he starts to see everything as code,
Yeah.
that was his vision of seeing everything as vibrations. That he is able to see that, okay, this is vibration, this is vibration, this is vibration, which essentially means that I can easily break out of these whole concept of getting attacked towards, or being afraid of something. In this case, agent, he destroys them very easily because he's able to see the vibrations and says that those vibrations don't affect me anymore. In fact, I can get in and make them calmer also.
Make them make way around.
Make way around, and
Yeah.
so, but the visualization of that in Matrix is phenomenal. I think I always enjoyed
Yeah.
that's the closest that I can relate to, and that's best described through the Vipassana concepts.
So yeah, and one more thing is, like, they also talk about this. They have this music about Ashtoma Sadagamaya.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit talk about that?
So so some of these I would say Upanishads mantras. First of all, they are so universal and these are all called Shanti mantras in some sense. So all of the Shanti mantras have a very, very universal feel. So they are not necessary to a specific god, for instance. Ashatoma Sadgamaya is whole concept of going from darkness to light. Same like Om Bhurvasva, which is, you're seeing the world, and Bhur, Bhva, and Swaha, which is all three levels of world. And all of it is basically understanding and realizing that you are the light. You are the one who has to walk the path, which is also one of the dialogues. I can only show you the door.
Yeah.
And that's where the new is called you are the one, you are the one. That also is basically the Tattvamasi, which is you are that, is you are the one who is nothing but you are the universe, who is seeing the universe and aware of the universe. So all of these concepts are basically expanding our own understanding of ourselves. So when we say me, is that me just the physical me? Is that me physical, emotional, thought me? Is that me physical, thought, speech, family me? Or is it, much larger conceptual? And both Advaita and the Buddhist philosophy expands that me to the universe. This universe itself is me, and that is, I think, that's a again this is somewhere I heard was that every time you face a hurdle or a difficult situation, you contract.
Yeah.
You become smaller.
Smaller.
But and that's why most of the breathing exercise is to expand.
Expand.
But even yoga is to expand your body systems.
Yeah.
And the identification of me, if you have the most broadest level of identification, that expand. The moment it's expanded, your breath changes. So the moment you see that, you have a sense of relief, and that's the moment you're calm, moment you're zen, you're able to see the patterns which are like, okay, he's trying to influence me. This person is genuinely
Jealous of me.
jealous of me, or even genuinely needs help.
Yeah.
You're able to see things which people are not saying, but they are going through it.
Yeah.
So you're able to act on those aspects of it.
Yeah.
So that's very quick encompassment. But topic wise, conceptual wise, Matrix is always going to be mind blowing, and with these concepts being ingrained in it, it made it even more special, I would say.
All right. Thank you for coming to the Admin Show. And do you have anything to say to my viewers of the Admin Show?
I would say continue watching. There's so many good stuff that is coming up. I keep hearing and very excited about seeing them. Please share, subscribe, and just spread the word out. And please do give us feedback. I think we would love to know what else that I can do and she can do even more.
Yeah, you can just tell us about if you want us to have a specific topic that you want us to get. So please let us know.
Absolutely.
All right. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and have
Bye.
a great time.